What's up? Okay. So it's Dandy, obviously. Alright, so I'm not sure what this video is going to be about. Well, actually, I kind of am. I've already planned it out, sort of. Kind of, maybe. Maybe. I don't know, man. Okay, so I went shopping. And it was cool. And I saw Cody. Which is okay, I suppose. He was looking through movies. It's pretty cool. Didn't talk much, because I don't know him. He looked at me kind of awkwardly. I think he hates me. Because every time I post something that I think is funny, he says that's not really all that funny. So I think he hates me. But oh well. Anyway, so, like I was saying, oh my god, alright, it's okay. Like I was saying, I went shopping today. And it was alright. Some okay stuff. Shopping. Oh, remember the days when shopping was for losers? Used to stay home and ride my bike. And that was what the cool kids did. Alright, so, childhood stories. Thought about doing like a childhood stories deal, you know, where I tell stories from my childhood. That's hideous. Anyway.
It's cute.
It's hideous.
It's cute.
Anyway, so, stories from my childhood. So I decided to pick one of the funnier ones. So, back when I was a kid, there wasn't much to do, because we were always moving, so I didn't have very many friends, and I don't think I've had very many friends, even if we weren't always moving, because I was a loser. Right? That's who I was. I was the loser. But somehow, becoming the loser has become popular now. You know? Have you ever noticed that? Now it's popular, but when I was a kid, it was totally un-okay. You were, oh my god, you know, you were just the biggest outcast ever. Now it's like, oh, you're a loser, that's cool. Me too. I'm totally a loser. I've got like 5 mopeds, and my parents have cars, and we live in a big fancy house, but I'm a loser. Yeah. Get my nails done like every other day, but I'm the loser here. Anyway, so, I was that loser kid. The one who ate lunch in the bathrooms. You know, back when it was still okay not to eat in the cafeteria. Anyway, so I was that loser kid in school. And it was okay, I suppose. I mean, I survived, obviously. Barely. Anyway, so, back on track. There wasn't much to do around where I lived, because I lived in Battlefield. Nobody knows where that is, but oh well. No. Okay, so, where I lived, there wasn't much to do. It was basically a field, and that was it. We got some tourists, because the field that I lived next to was a Civil War ground, right? And there was still some bullets in the ground and stuff, and there'd be these weird people with metal detectors all the time. So it was kind of cool, but pretty boring. And, well, one day, this kid on my bus just randomly started messing with me. Like, he'd flick me in the head, and he was like the bus driver's pet or something. And he'd flick me in the head. Well, I turned around and flicked him in the head, but he started screaming and wailing about how I'd beat up on him, right? And him and his friends would laugh because I'd get in trouble. Because she wouldn't believe me that he hit me first. Because he'd give this big old, I don't hit girls speech, right? Anyways, so, this went on for a while, and eventually I just stopped, like, doing it back. You know, like, whatever he did, I'd stop reciprocating it, right? Well, eventually, this kid just kept egging me on. I was trying to ignore him, and then all of a sudden he said, well, your dad's a big fat jerk. Didn't take kindly to that. Don't know why, but that was the biggest insult I'd ever heard in my entire life, and I started bawling, and I turned around, and I hit him in the eye, and I gave him a black eye and a bloody nose, and I got in trouble. Well, we had the same bus stop, but it went different ways for quite a while. Anyway, so he started following me home, and I got scared, because he had this bloody nose and everything, so he was pretty mad. So we got to my house, and when I came home, I'd always be alone, because my parents had work, and, you know, all that jazz. My little sisters had daycare. So I was always home alone when I got home. Anyway, so he followed me home, and I pretended like my parents were in there. Obviously, he knew they weren't. And he beat the living crap out of me in my lawn. Well, this kid named Mina, she was like 12 at the time. I'm talking about when I was a kid. Anyway, so she was like 12 at the time, and she saw him doing that, and I don't know why, but she was giving me bike lessons because she was the loneliest teenager / preteen in the world. She was giving me bike lessons. That's sad. Anyway, so she beat the crap out of him, and then his dad came down and wanted to talk to my dad, and they had a decent conversation about the corn stalks that were growing out of our front lawn. And when I got on the bus next day, I just hit him in the back of the head for no reason. And he turned around and gave me a black eye. And I started screaming. And I ran to the front of the bus, and I said, "Look what he did to me." And she said, "Oh my gosh." And she, like, made this big deal out of it. And she was like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't notice." And then this teacher got on the bus and talked to her about it because I had a black eye, and she was, like, spazzing. She was like, "Child abuse isn't right." So that went on for, like, a week, and then that kid got expelled. And I was like, yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, you wanna know what his name was? Tobby. Not Toby. Tobby. Tobby. Not Toby. Not like Toby Keith. I mean Tobby. Spelled like Toby, but Tobby. I don't know why. I just know it was. Anyway, and his brother's name was Travis, and he always made fun of my name. Yeah, dude, just shut up. Tobby? You think you can make fun of my name? Dude, I don't even know where to start. Anyway. So, yeah. No offense to anybody with the name Tobby. I mean, that's great, awesome, you're unique, everybody's I am. But you know what? When you start cracking on a kid with a name like mine, and you've got the name Tobby, and you're being a jerk, no room. No room. You are sitting in an airtight container. No room. I'm talking about tomato in a baggie, no room. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm glad that's across. Anyway, so there's one childhood story. It's now 1:35 a.m.
12 minutes until FA is adult.
No idea. Anyway, so these are my crazy nails. Look at them. They have flowers on them. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them.
Can I say hi?
No, you can't. Shut up. It's my video. Look at my nails. They're pretty. The thing I was doing when I was, yeah, it's my toenails. My gnarly toenails. Do you see that? Do you see that? Pretty flower. That's beast. LOL, I hate it when people say beast, or even when they say LOL when they're talking. Dude, this isn't text. You can actually laugh out loud. No joke. You can laugh out loud. Because you're not texting. If you laugh out loud, everybody knows you laughed out loud. We don't need you to say it. You know? Things I hate when people talk. Shut up. Things I hate when people talk out loud and they're using text. No, you can actually finish that. You're not that lazy, I promise. That and, like, beast, or legit, or, I don't know, it's just stupid, or BA. You know what? If you just can't say it, don't pull a little kid, alright? Just say it's cool, alright? We all get it. It's not that awesome. You sound really lame. Honestly. Anyway, so, yeah. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so I gotta go now, because I've wasted a lot of time on this video. And then I'm gonna go to bed, because that's what I need to do before I, like, blow up. Alright, anyway, so bye. Have a fabulous night. Sweet dreams.